Evening, everyone. Dr. J here with my guy Vinson, representing the Knickline as we do our Game 4 pregame show for Knicks and Spurs at Madison Square Garden tonight in New York. So for this, the Spurs they snapped the Knicks' 13 game playoff win streak with a 115-111 victory in Game 3. So that cuts New York's series lead to 2-1. Now the national media spent all morning talking about Jalen Brunson going on too much about the isolation basketball. I'm kind of reverting back to bad habits, I'd say, down the
Right.
stretch of Game 3. But looking closer at the tape, the blame might belong elsewhere. So what we're going to do tonight, we're gonna break that all down. Look at the real offensive issues for Game 3 and how the Knicks can fix them tonight. So as I mentioned, that everyone wants to point fingers at number 11 when the ball stops moving. But so let's talk about the lack of off-ball activity from the supporting cast. So Vin, I'll take it to you.
Right. This narrative is extremely lazy, and it's just kind of like something that it seems like different sports media personalities seem to like get jokes off on. I watched a couple of breakdowns from Jason Williams, Jason Thump. I can't say the guy's last name because it's like a weird last name, but they all kind of pointed to the fact that Brunson was over dribbling, but not why he was over dribbling, or that he was taking too many shots. He took 25 shots. That's kind of his normal volume.
Yeah.
He gets at least 20 shots up. But outside of OG Ananobi, the rest of the roster shot 3 for 20. Um, and that's because you have four other players that are kind of just standing along the perimeter watching Brunson the same way that the defense is watching Brunson.
Right.
Nobody's cutting, nobody's relocating, nobody's setting screens, and this just allows San Antonio defenders to kind of key in on Brunson. Um, if his teammates aren't moving around, then it's going to be hard for Brunson to initiate offense. As simple as that. Like it takes two. Um, some baseline backdoor cuts, it'll shift the momentum of the Spurs when it comes to like overshifting and loading on Brunson because now you kind of don't have people just camping out.
No, and I think that's a great point too. And and as I was thinking about this leading up to tonight for Game 4, and as I always kind of share within our Nickline group that I'm part of Mike Brown's extended coaching staff. So I did I did rewatch the game as
Right.
hard as that was to watch. But I'm thinking that maybe to preserve Brunson's legs and the energy because they're getting on Brunson, like full court, right? I
Right.
mean, they're harassing the whole way down. So I'm thinking maybe just take the ball out of Brunson's hand, have someone else bring the ball up, whether we have Bridges or I know Harder, he could bring the ball up from time to time. I think if we're able to um, kind of get it to where at least someone brings the ball at least to midcourt and then get it to Brunson once we get in, and then be able to get it to Brunson in the half court set and then maybe start running some plays. Um, and I think other thing too, I would like to see us kind of get back to where we kind of center back with Cat as
Right.
that central offensive hub. I think that was really working. Really, and when we
Hmm.
talk about that stagnation, guys standing around, when we had Cat at top of the key and kind of facilitating, we saw a lot more cuts. The offense was flowing better. So
Right.
I would like to see a shift in that regard because I think, especially, I mean, they're beating up Brunson. So if we're able to kind of preserve him, keep his energy, especially as we get to the second half of the game, especially the fourth quarter, we're going to need him.
Right.
We really need to preserve him and maybe just have a switch up, whether even Alvarado. I mean, you don't want to have him out there too long, because then you have a very small backcourt with Brunson and Alvarado. But I mean, just someone to kind of take the ball out of Brunson's hands, kind of give him that relief, and then when we get to the half court, get it Brunson so that way he can start that offense going.
Right. No, I definitely agree with you. It's he needs help. Ideally, you would want the person that's guarding Wimby to bring the ball up to draw Wimby out, or to like be a point of attack. But for us, the Spurs are sticking Wimby on Josh Hart, so it's kind of making that hard a bit.
Mm.
But I think um, if you play around with personnel and um, you kind of get somebody like a Shaman out there that might help out a bit. But that is a great point that you bring up.
I would like, I guess my only concern with Shaman is maybe maybe just overuse with Shaman.
Right,
That's
right,
my only concern with that. Because when Shaman does come in, he's like kind of like that instant offense, right? Like
right.
kind of like popcorn, saying I get the instant,
Yeah,
satisfaction. So he comes in, hit some big shots for us, especially threes.
right,
I'm that's my only concern is that I don't want to overuse him. I would like to see maybe even Bridges, I mean,
right.
sorry, not Bridges. Excuse me,
No,
McBride,
I
Deuce.
know you're talking about McBride.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would like to see maybe even Deuce kind of help in that regard, just handle the ball and like I said, just provide that relief for Brunson.
right.
Uh, so here for game three. So Wembanyama, he sat back as a free safety, he racked up 3 blocks because he knew exactly where the ball was going. Right. So how
Right.
do active off ball cuts, force Wemby to actually defend instead of just camping out?
You have to attack the weak side corners aggressively from the lanes, and this is what I mean. Like by the Knicks, perimeter players kind of standing still and not doing anything to shift and take that overloading that the Spurs are doing. When you cut from the weak side, you force Wimby to make a decision. Right? It's either he has to cover the cut or he has to keep his eye on Brunson. Like structurally, like that's what he has to do, and when you're just standing around and you're not doing that, it makes it. That's what's making the offense look so ugly right now. Even in addition to that, the transition, right? Um, Brunson bringing up the ball full court. Um, Everybody kind of like sinks into their spot. Like I remember an instance in the first quarter where Brunson is like full on like steaming towards the rim, and instead
Right.
of McBride lifting up and making himself available for a pass and maybe kind of curling in, um, he just kind of just stays in the corner. Like even what's the guy's name? Dylan Harper. Like he was kind of laid back on the coverage too. Deuce
Yeah.
just sat there. So it's like you have to move. You have to read and react the defense. You got to see what they're doing in order to get that pressure off of Brunson and to make Wimby make decisions that benefit us. Because the further away he's from the basket or the less distracted he is from what he wants to do, the better for us.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we definitely gotta really just get back to what we did in games one and two to just
Right,
really make Wemby uncomfortable. Especially as I mentioned, in the first 2 games where we was really facilitating the offense through Cat, having Wemby come and guard him right at the top of the key, and then Cat is much faster than him. He blew by him so many times, and he's getting quick, easy points. And then that
right,
also forces Wemby to get tired, so he sits out. And then when Cornet comes in, I mean, forget it. That's barbecue chicken all day.
barbecue chicken.
So yeah, man. So I would like to kind of see that shift back in the office. I think that's going to be a big help, especially as you mentioned, as far as how we handle Wemby. You just got to make him uncomfortable. He's
Right.
getting a little too comfy out there. I don't like it.
Yeah,
So
I don't either. So
yeah,
I mean, we definitely but there's definitely some things that Cat can do to make himself available, as well as OG Ananobi when they start to go playing small ball. You know.
right. So with that said, so Wemby, he had his breakout game in the series. He
Right.
dropped 35 points on Monday. So like, and I think we kind of touched on it, but like, what defensive tweaks, must Karl Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson have to do to prevent him from dominating the paint again tonight?
Um, he looked a bit fresh. That's the first thing I want to say. He definitely
Mm,
looked a lot fresher
yeah,
with 2 days off, and
yeah,
I don't feel like we attacked him enough. Um, Trailing like how do I say it? when when Cat inbounds the ball, right, and they get into their offense, he's usually trailing big. If not, it's OG Ananobi. Um, they have to put pressure on Wembanyama defensively in terms of diving to the rim, making him make a decision, or just being the pop up 3 point option off some kind of curl action. Um, Even a quick drag, like that's not even available because you guys are jogging up court. So Wemby's kind of just hanging out defensively, not really wasting any energy until he comes over and he makes these big, massive blocks that everybody just
Right.
goes crazy for. Then on the other end, defensively, what the Knicks can do um, is not give him clean shot attempts. He's getting a lot of clean shot attempts. He's getting cozy. They gotta
Yeah.
kind of push him off his block. Like the Spurs ran a few sets where he was able to catch like three dunks in the first quarter. They can't let that happen again. They have to make him play in different spaces and different spots that he's not accustomed to playing or he doesn't like playing in.
So, I shared this before. I shared it again, and also giving credit to KFTV. No cat, no rings,
Right,
and so as we've seen, there was another stat. Some of the dialogue leading up to tonight was that Cat in pretty much really specifically in the fourth quarter of these games, he hasn't scored. Honestly, I didn't even really notice. I guess really in the first two games that he didn't score,
right.
but Towns he has struggled to make an impact, late in games so far in the series. So going scoreless in the fourth quarter on Monday, so what does he need to do tonight to match San Antonio's front court scoring punch?
I think it's more so what Mike Brown needs to do, right? Because
Mm,
usually, starting out that fourth quarter, Brunson is on the bench, so Cat is the main option. You got to have to run some different options with him, like some a quick post up, a pick and pop that kind of gets him into rhythm. When Cat is
right.
aggressive, it shifts the whole dynamic of the game, and you're not seeing that really in the fourth corner. He's kind of just camping out down low and not really involved in the offense. And this is why, um, in a sense, like the offense that we saw, this juggernaut offense, has disappeared. Mike Brown has to go back to what you've been saying. He has to go back to what's been working, and get Cat into actions, and really make San Antonio feel the pressure in terms of you know um, the offense and having a guard.
I also think too that maybe Rick Brunson needs to talk to his son and be like, "Look, bro, you pounding the air of the ball again. We need to stop
Right,
that." So,
right,
and I say that as I love Brunson. I'm not one to I'm not trying to beat him up, but also at the same time too. I mean, everyone has their flaws, and that's one
right,
thing. Sometimes he kind of reverts back to those old habits at times, and was kind of seeing that. So like, look, we gotta. We already know that wasn't working. Like, look back
right.
at the Atlanta series. Okay, so yeah, yeah, I agree. I think that to me again, I firmly believe that for us, especially with Wemby being the centerpiece for the Spurs, Cat has to be involved. We cannot go away from
Has to
him. If
be.
we go away from Cat, we're not gonna win. Point
No,
blank. We
right,
have to go through Cat. So I hope it's not no. I mean, I don't believe it. I mean, people are saying this, but like, maybe Brunson would try and take it more in his hands because he wants to get the Finals MVP.
oh
I
my
don't.
gosh.
Yeah,
Horrible take, Hall of
yeah,
Fame.
right.
Horrible take. You got to think
But
about
look,
it, bro.
look,
Yeah.
man, it's about getting that chip, man. I don't care who get the
Exactly.
MVP.
It's
You know
about
what I'm
getting
saying?
that chip.
It's
No,
about getting the chip.
yeah, no, you're
And
definitely right.
but no, but yeah, the Knicks are not gonna win this. The Knicks are not gonna win the championship if Cat is not involved. If
Right,
you exclude Cat, forget it. You pretty much pack it up now. So
right.
we have to get Cat back involved, get him back aggressive again. Go back to games 1 and 2, see how he was dominating Wemby. Let's get back to that, and then we should see another win tonight for the Knicks.
I think the Knicks do come out with some actions with Cat. I do expect this to be more of a high assist game for Brunson. I do
Mm,
think he's more intentional
yeah,
about getting his guys involved. He usually bounces back from tough games like that. So,
yeah.
I'm not too worried about him, like for the most I mean, not for the most part. I mean, he is an unselfish player, but we need other guys to show up. 3 for 20 is a very glaring, like very glaring like stat for the rest of them. I mean, shoot, we dang near in OKC territory. They had 31 points
Hmm.
combined in
Hmm.
game 7 from starters outside of Shea. Like, we
Yeah,
need more from everybody.
Yeah, no, and as you say that, yeah, we need more from the supporting cast. Especially, I'm looking right at Bridges. Bridges, I'm looking at you, brother. Like,
2 points.
yeah, that's unacceptable. We
Don't
need
make me
we
start
need
talking
more
about
than
them picks again.
that. Yo, what's so crazy, man? It's like the relationship with Bridges since he came to New York is it's just been so up and down. Like he has a
Right.
great game, it's like F them picks. When he has a bad game, it's like, dang, we gave so many picks for this guy, and he's not.
Oh
You know
my
what I'm saying?
gosh.
It's so up and down.
It's
And but
it's crazy.
yeah, and but no, man. But Bridges, I mean, I know it's there. He has that skill. Like, I think he did get. I mean, I guess in defense of Bridges, he did pick up like two quick fouls
Right.
in the beginning of the game, so that really threw things off. So he had to lead the game early, which stunk. But no, we
Right.
need more because we saw a big game from OG. OG's my guy.
Yeah. The dog.
Yeah, the dog, OG, the dog.
The
Um,
dog.
and Hart, you know,
Right.
he
Early
had a big
on,
game
yeah.
as well. He shot very well again. And that's the thing is like you don't want to waste those good games from Hartman because he doesn't always shoot that. He doesn't always
Right.
have those games. So I hate to lose games when he has those big outputs. So like, yeah, we need more from the supporting cast, especially from the bench as well. Yeah, we just it can't be just all on Brunson because again we're not gonna win. We're just not
Right.
gonna win like that. So we gotta clean that up. All right,
Um
so no, go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna say, I did have a clip I wanted to share with everybody before we moved on to kind of look. I saw it on threads and I looked at it and I'm just like this is crazy. Like it kind of like sums up everything like we've been talking about. I wanted to show it real quick if I could.
Sure, sure.
Okay, let me see. It goes to share. Uh, my Google Drive. That's it right there. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Just gonna play it back here. Okay.
Brunson, 0 pass possession against an apex defender.
So we see here, right? You can kind of clearly see McBride just going down to the corner and then his defender, right? Just kind of just drifting off. He kind of jogged back. He's not even face guarding McBride. He's literally staring Brunson down right here. On this side, no
Oh
one's
yeah,
really
he's at
there,
the
but
top left, I think.
he's at the top left, right? And
Yeah,
then in the
yeah.
backcourt, right? If we play back just a smidge bit, right? In the backcourt,
0 pass possession against an apex defender.
you see OG Anunoby jogging up court. So those two things right there, they kind of make the
Mm,
offense dead. You get what I'm saying?
No
right.
pass
Now,
going against Dylan Harper. If I had more time,
now he's going to talk about the over dribbling and then the stagnicity there, right? But that stagnicity there isn't caused really by Brunson or even Stephon Castle speeding him up. It's literally Deuce not meeting him and making himself available, and then making a weird cut after that, and then OG kind of getting back into the frame.
I
Here's
might
how the
sit here
rest
and
of the play
count the
plays out.
dribbles. But this is not good offense. Dribble, 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 dribble.
You kind of see everybody's just there. OG
Yeah.
could have kind of slid over, made himself. That's what we talk about: lifting, relocating, things like that. Like everybody is literally looking
And
at
look
Brunson.
at all the open space right there. He could have
All that
definitely
open
rotated
space.
over and help him out.
And that's another thing that's killing the Knicks too. You make yourself really easy when everybody's on one side of the court. Like
Right.
I'm so glad you brung that up. Like
Mm.
they're not forcing the Spurs to shift or do anything outside of like what they want to do. Here's how the rest of the play
Dribble,
goes.
dribble. Impossible shot. Mitchell Robinson gets blocked. That stays with the Knicks. I just didn't think that was a good possession.
I didn't think it was good possession either, but I didn't
Yeah.
thought he was pretty disingenuous and how he kind of brung that up, and just Brunson is finding that no, we kind of see clear as day. You got to make yourself available um to the ball. And the other thing is you can't just jog back into the play.
Right.
Like we need our trail guys to kind of come in, to give us some option. Like clearly we seen Champagne was looking at Brunson. If Brunson gets back there and McBride clears that side up, then there's a relocation. Three ball from OG Anunoby. Anunoby had 28. He's hot. You know, there's things that we can do, or the starters can do, when they're out there on the floor with Brunson. Like he is over dribbling. We're not
Yeah.
going to get rid of that. Like he still is getting to a bad shot. Like a point guard is supposed to bring the ball out and set order. Because this is what I teach my kids. If you're a guard, everybody's dumb but you. You set up the offense. It's your
Yeah.
fault if they don't get it. So Brunson has to be more aware, like, all right, I'm getting rushed into this. Let me call something. Let me gather them. You know.
Right.
So, I think there's a lot to share with just everybody overall. But like, these are glaring things that the Knicks can change and change like immediately.
So as we approach tip or at 8:30, I'd like to get your for one your prediction, final game score and win prediction. So I'll go to you, Ben.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a close one. Um,
Mhm.
Foolishly, I predicted it was gonna be a blowout, but the Spurs proved me wrong. But I think it's gonna be a close one. I think it's kind of around the same range. I want to say 115, 108 Knicks. I don't see anybody winning by double digits here in this series. I just think it's too um, physical of a series for anybody to be blown out at any point. We've seen both teams get up by double digits, but I think today you're going to see a Knicks win, you know, by like 8 or 7 points.
Okay, I like that. And before I give my prediction, I'm just checking the live chat here. So I see
Yeah,
I'm just shout out a couple folks here real quick. So I see Brandon Zaza. He says, "Let's go Knicks." Okay.
let's go Knicks.
Michael Laterman, he says, "Gotta give credit to though to Spurs defense. They big time slowed New York Knicks down." Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, you can't dispute that. It's definitely giving credit to the
right,
Spurs and what they did and the adjustments that they made. Because as I mentioned, we talked about, I mean, they stayed on Brunson the whole way from
whole
from
time
from,
they
from
did
end to
exactly
end.
what they wanted.
Yeah, so again, like as we talked about earlier, like whether we get the ball out of have someone else bring the ball up and then get Brunson at the half court, so that way he's able to preserve some of that energy. But yeah, no, the Spurs definitely locked in with their defense as far as their adjustments and what they, especially just really making it hard for Brunson. Um,
Right.
and then it kind of makes it. For time, we saw Brunson kind of make some bad decisions. We saw a lot of turnovers, and a lot of points off of those turnovers too, right?
What they had like 21 points over turnovers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about 21
13,
points.
13 turnovers, yeah, 21 and turned to 21 points. Yep. So
Yeah, that was bad.
yeah, and it was like some weird turnovers too, man. Like it was just really odd. So
Yeah, like this disjointed, like
mhm.
there definitely was like a lack of focus that the Knicks didn't have. And San Antonio, they played like a team that was desperate. They came out super confident in their ability to,
Yeah.
and for the most part, I felt like the Knicks were matching it until when it counted. And the Spurs, they grew a little bit in that instance. They're poised, they composed themselves. This time
Right.
around, Stephon Castle, he's closing up the game with free throws.
Yeah.
So you see some growth from those two losses, but as a team that's been in over 52 close playoff games since 2022, we need to flex our muscles a bit and really show them how it's done.
Exactly. No, I agree. And for me, I got the Knicks winning. Again, I think it's gonna be a close affair as well. I got like 107, 104. Um, yeah, it's not the Eastern Conference, yo. It's I know we ran
Right.
through Atlanta, we swept Philly, we swept Cleveland. Spurs are not gonna quit. They're not gonna tap out like how Cleveland did.
Right.
We really like if we want this chip, we really got to earn it.
Right.
So it's a whole different ball game here. So, but and I say that it definitely still can be done, but just recognize the fact it's not going to be the way it was during the Eastern Conference.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, I still got the Knicks winning tonight. The energy, especially, and all the distractions are really pretty much gone for Game Three.
Yeah.
So I think also with that the first time jitters, first time having a finals game in the Garden since '99. So there's a
Right.
lot of stuff that was happening, a lot of I almost felt like a Super Bowl game. I mean,
Right.
so many.
Do we acknowledge like the other stuff? Like, do
Yeah.
we really like say that's like I think like outside of like yeah, let's talk about it, like for like I guess 30 seconds. Like,
Mhm.
do you think that with the president coming into town, that kind of threw the Knicks off their routine at any point?
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say if it's the president per se, but I think
Right.
everything that involves the president, you know, as far as like the security measures and everything like that, they said they couldn't bring bags in. They had to do extra screening, stuff like that. So stuff like that that's off from their routine. I think that maybe definitely that's something that will affect them because that's something they're not accustomed to.
Right.
I think they're accustomed to having high profile guests attend their games, but not to the level where they gotta kind of change the way they even maybe go through their prep or maybe go through a different entrance in the garden, stuff like that.
Right.
That honestly, I think that's something they can't ignore. I mean, yeah, I would say it did
Right.
have a bit of an effect.
Right, definitely. Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. When you're used to doing a certain routine and
Mhm.
you get out of it, it definitely will affect you. I do expect, I did expect them to have some jitters, especially because, this is like the first time we've had a home finals game since '99, and
Yep.
then add the fact that this is the first time a president has ever came to an NBA finals game. Like, man, like
Yeah, that's crazy.
it's a lot going on.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's a
but
yeah,
I definitely don't believe in no curses. I definitely just
yeah.
believe like all that energy is shifted out and we get back to playing Knicks basketball and we're victorious today.
And shout out to all the New Yorkers who saged the guard and get all that that bad juju out of there. So I
Right.
appreciate everyone doing that. So
Putting
I
their
think
prayers up.
yeah, I think we're gonna be fine. I think we're gonna be good. We're gonna get that
Gotcha.
done.
Definitely.
All right, it's 8:30. Getting get ready to start. Thank you everyone for tuning in and enjoy